Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? I have a serious question for you. If the economy is fine, why are so many signs of trouble erupting all around us? It's a serious question, okay? And I want to know your answers, okay? Because those that keep insisting that the US economy is heading in the right direction conveniently are ignoring the very troubling facts and the figures. When you take an honest look at the cold, hard numbers, there's only one logical, rational conclusion. Our entire system is crumbling, and it appears that the conditions will soon get significantly worse. Just look at what's happening to our banks, okay? The FDIC's most recent report tells us that there are 63 problem banks in the United States. And collectively, our banks now have $517 billion in unrealized losses. That's a lot of money. How do they unrealize those losses? I mean, I would love to know what banks are on that list, wouldn't you? But of course, the FDIC are not going to let that cat out of the bag. But we all know that the FDIC will not release that information because why? They're afraid of bank runs. Okay. We don't get to know which banks are in trouble. It could be my bank, it could be your bank. Maybe it's not any of our banks. Are they big banks? Are they small banks? The list is confidential to inhibit the likelihood of bank runs, finishing off the institutions. If Americans had the truth, the cold, hard truth, there would be bank runs all over the country tomorrow morning. That's a rather comforting thought, but the condition of our banks just continues to deteriorate because mountains of commercial real estate loans are going bad. And at this point, it has become clear that we have never faced a commercial real estate crisis of this magnitude in our history. And I know what you're going to say, 08, 09. What we're seeing doesn't touch, okay? A lot of financial institutions will fail during the months and years ahead of us. And I just hope that your money is safe. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? Because I recently discovered that approximately 2/3 of all small businesses in the US are teetering on the brink of disaster. Okay. And maybe it doesn't concern you about what's happening to small businesses, but it should, because close to half of all workers in the US are employed by small businesses. Okay. At least 46% of all employees in the US, and that's about 61.6 million people in total, are employed by small businesses. And that's a lot of people. Okay. And I think that it is quite an ominous sign that the US economy lost a whopping 408,000 jobs just last month. Sadly, I think that a lot more months like that are coming our way because you've got retailers, okay, that are also struggling right now, okay, major retailers. And there's major retailer after major retailer that have been reporting disappointing sale numbers. At one time, Walmart, okay, that was unstoppable at one point. Okay, they were a retail behemoth. Now they're closing down stores. Okay, but of course, the stores that Walmart is shuttering are just a drop in the bucket, if you will, compared to what other chains are going through. And whenever you hear the term retail apocalypse, and that term being used, it's not an exaggeration at all. We are really are in the stages, the early stages, I should say, of a historic meltdown. And the outlook of the months ahead is extremely bleak. In fact, if we, how do I put this? I'll just put it to you straight. We should brace ourselves for a bigger crash than we saw in 08 and 09. Just saying, okay? Because our leaders were able to keep the game going for years by pumping trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars into the system. But they didn't fix a damn thing. Instead, they delayed the inevitable. Okay, our entire system is crumbling all around us, and as it crumbles, we're going to see chaos on a scale that most people don't even want to imagine. Already, major cities from coast to coast are being terrorized by theft, violence, drugs, homelessness, gangs, anarchy. If things are this bad already, what is America going to look like once our leaders completely lose control of this economy? Hmm? Imagine just for a moment. Imagine just for a moment, okay? When the worst of the worst can't feed themselves or their families, okay? When they don't have a light to turn on, water to wash themselves, okay? A roof over their head, clothes on their backs, food in their belly, okay? Just the basic necessities. Just imagine for just a moment, okay? You think for just a handful of people? Imagine an entire city, an entire town. Now imagine an entire state. Now imagine the East Coast, entire West Coast. Now imagine the entire country. For those of us that are not prepared, imagine for just a moment. You think that we like to hide our preps now? Imagine the measures that we're going to have to go through to hide them even more. And you will probably say, I'll just dig a root cellar. It'll be fine. No? Will it? Are you going to be able to barricade your home so the zombies can't get in? Can you? Are you physically able to? I'll just get my neighbor to help, will you? Because once he sees why you're going to be barricading your home, he's going to know where that one weakness is. And he's going to be able to get in and not just get to your preps, but get to you too. So think about this for just a moment and let it sink in, because it will be a reality that we could all very much face in a very short time. Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less.